everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you chose to be here with me today. My name is Amy and I just signed up to be a Chalk Couture designer with Chalk Couture. We're an MLM company that sells chalk paste and transfers, and they're absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, I just signed up with them. And this is my first project, in which I'm so proud to show you. Now, as you're gonna see, there were a few oopsies along the way, but that chalk paste saved my project. I really did thought I was gonna have to scrap this project a few times. However, the chalk paste covered up my mistakes and it turned out absolutely gorgeous. And if you like what you see today, then subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and hit that little bell so it notifies you every single time I upload a video. So with that, let's get started. I got these pumpkins at Goodwill. I know that the Dollar Tree carries them because I've seen them there before, but I got mine at Goodwill and they were 50 cents a piece, so I got 5 of them. I wish I would have gotten more, but alas. Anyways, this is the scrapbook paper that I'm going to cover them with, and I'm just showing you that. I got this packet of paper in the clearance aisle at Walmart like 4 years ago. I think it was like 4 years ago. Yeah, and I got it for like $4 on clearance, and so I love these papers. I love the colors and they're just amazing. And so here's the spray adhesive from Dollar Tree. That's one of my mistakes in using. And that is the varnish from Waverly. I didn't have any Mod Podge on me, so I just used Waverly's varnish and it worked awesome. So here I am. As you can tell by the pumpkin at the bottom of the page, I'd already glued one of the pumpkins together, and then realized that I needed to paint the bases because some of them are orange. And I wanted a cohesive look for the bottom of my project because I'm going to be gluing them all together. And so I decided, after I pasted the paper on there, that I was going to paint them. See, there's the orange one. And if I had thought about it, I should have used my chalk paint, my Waverly chalk paint in ink. It would have covered much better, but instead I did it the hard way as usual. And here is my next mistake. Oh, I have so many in this video. Anyways, if you're going to trace out your paper to glue it to your pumpkin, please use the opposite side of the pumpkin than you're going to glue the paper to. Because as you can see, my idea in my head was to have all the stems in my project facing the same way when I glued them together. However, because I traced that out wrong, I had to turn this pumpkin over and sand off the glitter and then use the varnish, is like we do Mod Podge, and then put this paper on. Now, when I did this, I used obviously way too much varnish and I wrinkled my paper up more than I liked. So I didn't like that. So then I decided to use the spray adhesive. And that didn't work out either. Let me tell you, it was my first time using it and it wasn't sticky at all. I don't know if it was just like the board just absorbed the spray adhesive. I don't know. See, now this is how you're supposed to trace it out. See what I mean by using the opposite side of the pumpkin? Because you're tracing on the back of your pumpkin and it just works much better. So here I am cutting it out, and if you see, I will cut like 1/2 inch over the trace line, because that way when you get done, you're going to see in a minute, you can sand off the edges for a much cleaner look than just cutting it out. Here I am using the glue stick, and that worked much better for this project in particular. It didn't wrinkle my paper, the paper was smooth, and it stuck really well, so I was happy with that. So if you guys have any advice on how to use the spray adhesive, please give me some, because I really wanted to use it and I was disappointed that I couldn't use it. So here I go, and now I'm sanding off the edges, and you're going to see what I mean by a cleaner look. It looks a little messy at first, but when you get the paper off, it just gives it such a clean, as if the paper that paper was cut by some machine go on to this pumpkin. It just is like a perfect cut. And when you cut with scissors, I mean, I know some people like to do it that way, but I am not a straight cutter. So I will cut like all kinds of squiggly, wiggly, I don't know. Anyways, but when I sand it off, it's beautiful. Here I am showing you my first idea. Now this is my Chalk Couture products, and I'm using the Fall Blessings transfer, and I'm going to cut that up because I'm going to use one on each pumpkin. And at first I show you the color Regal, and I was going to use that. You'll see me, I'm testing it on a scrap piece of paper, and it was beautiful. But because I wanted to use some kind of gold, I didn't use it, and that was my next mistake. I told you I had a lot in this video, but that was my next mistake. This is such a beautiful color. Chalk Couture's chalk paste are so amazing, and they're thick, and you can use them. You don't have to do like the brush where you just blot down on your stencils. You just like use the little squeegee like I have sitting right there, and you squeegee it across. Oh, it's just amazing. And then you can water them down and use them as paint. You're going to see both methods in this video. So here I am using shimmer copper, and it's such a beautiful color, and I was so excited to use it because it's fall, and I like fall to look golden and beautiful. Here I am, and these are they're like self-sticking transfers, and I guess some people would call them stencils, but we call them transfers. And you have to fuzz them out or you can't get them back up. So I mean, they're not that sticky, but they are enough where you're gonna see what happens to my project, because this is my next mistake. And it's like every step I have a mistake, right? But I did fuzz it, and I fuzzed it several times, which means I put it on a fuzzy piece of cloth, and I just tried to make it a little less sticky. And I put it onto my paper, but I did not seal my paper before I did this. That was a huge fail, and you're gonna find out why right here. So if you want to do a project like this, I suggest please, please, please seal your paper with Mod Podge or some kind of sealant. The varnish would have worked, but I don't have a brain at this moment. So anyways, I get my Dollar Tree little paintbrush, and I go to making this what does Bob Ross say? Happy accident. There are no mistakes in art. There's only happy accident. I love Bob Ross. Anyways, I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm just going to glue down this piece of paper and I am going to make it right. And then that just looked tacky and I did not like it. So I decided I'm not going to do that. So I just take my shimmering copper, or shimmer copper is what it's actually called, and I just paint my letters back because some of the lettering pulled up with that little piece of paper that was pulled off. And now it's stuck to my transfer. That's another thing if you use transfers, because you can use these up to like, that's 15, 20 times, but now I have paper stuck to the back of mine that I can't get off. And here I am watering down that paste like I told you. You can use it, and I promise it does mix better. I just didn't stir it. I should have used the spoon, or we have little stirrers that we sell in on the website, and so it would have worked much better. But even if I used my little squeegee there, it would have been better, but I didn't. So here we go. I'm deciding to make it cohesive by just painting little different spots all over the pumpkin, or stripes kind of, in almost like a tiger stripe fashion, where it's just random stripes or streaks across the pumpkin in the shimmering copper. And then I decide that the pumpkin edge is like a wood tone, but it just looked too white. Like, I think my light is making it look really white on here, but even to me it just looked too white for the project, because the project wasn't supposed to have any white on it. It's just stood out to me a little. I think it was a little too rugged or country for me, and I wanted it, because you could leave it like that. If you had a farmhouse look in your house, it would have been, you could leave it like that, kind of rustic, but I wanted something a little more polished. And so I just started going around the edge with my shimmer copper, and I just painted the edge there, and that's what you see me doing here. And then I go on to do all the pumpkins that way. You're going to see in a minute how it works out better with the other transfers. They don't peel off nearly as bad as the first one did. And I should have, right here, okay, you guys, you know how you do stuff and you don't think of what you should have done until after it's already done? Well, I should have sealed the rest of my pumpkins, but I think I was thinking that if I sealed them and then put it wouldn't look the same. And so I go ahead and look at how careful I'm putting that transfer down. I'm like not nearly as pressing it down as hard as I was before in the other one. It was so bad. So here I am, and look at this paste. Look how beautifully it goes on. It is so gorgeous. I'm so in love. I definitely recommend Chalk Couture paint. It's just amazing. Their paste is so rich in tone. The colors are absolutely stunning. The transfers are reusable, I think, like I said, 12, 15, 20 times. Absolutely beautiful. Even if you just become a club member, you get so many benefits from ordering their stuff. It's just amazing. And so here I am with those markers, those metallic markers that you get in Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. I'm so in love with these. Oh, they're so beautiful. And I tried to go in with the rose gold, because here's what I realized. And I said it was a mistake to use the shimmer copper. It would, because of the color of my pumpkins. It was so close to the color. It just blended. So when I put the finished product onto my fireplace, it just blended in. See, so with this pumpkin, before I knew, I put it up on the fireplace, and I thought this is not going to work, because that's where I have it in front of the grate of my fireplace, and it just wasn't working. So here, what I wanted to do was highlight these letters, and so the rose gold wasn't working, but the blue, the metallic blue, I just went around each letter and highlighted those letters, and I even did like a broken line, because I just wanted it to pop. I didn't want it to be like all blue, or I just wanted the letters to pop a little bit so that you could see them against that background. So I get these gold letters with this blue outline, which gives it this little 3D effect, and they just turned out beautiful. So that's how I fixed my boo-boos. And I know I had a lot of them. It was so bad. But it's trial and error for me. Trial and error for me. I just, go at it. And if I make a mistake, if it's not too big of a mistake, if it's not something that ruins the entire project, I'll just go with the flow. Art kind of makes itself. So if I just do a boo-boo, then I just go, okay, well, how can I fix this? And I just go over it. So here what you see me is I decide that black is just not popping for me, and I want it to pop. I want it to shimmer. Like my pumpkins were so gold and coppery and shimmery, and I wanted the base to be the same. Like I said, I wanted a cohesive look. So I decide to water down some more of that shimmer copper in my little packet, and to just outline each of my pumpkins, go over where I thought it needed a little bit more, put that shimmer on the bottom. I just wanted it to just pop. And let me tell you, when it was done, it was one of my favorite projects of the fall series that I did. It was just stunning, and I absolutely love it, and I want to use it. This is staying in my house for sure. I'm going to use it year after year after year, because it is just one of my favorites. And so here I am. I'm deciding that they need to be sealed, and you don't necessarily have to seal the chalk from the Chalk Couture, but the paper needed to be sealed, obviously. mean, that was such a fail. But it worked out well. It actually worked out really well. And so here I am with that matte, I think it's wax. It's either matte varnish or wax. I will list everything that I did with this project down below. And I'll even try to find a link to some of those pumpkins. I know that they're not out in the stores right now because YouTube videos kind of go along with the retail season, because you want to be able to go out and find these products to be able to make your own, right? And I'm coming out late in the season. I know. But, you know, it's out there now. And if you can't find it this year, maybe you can do it next year. Anyways, I will try to find a link for you. And so here I am using that twine from the automotive section. Yeah, automotive section in Dollar Tree. I love it because it looks so much like jute. And I just wanted to wrap those pumpkin stems to make them look a little more stem-like and a little more authentic. And I like kind of like that rustic and pearls, like blue jeans and pearls kind of look. That's me. And so here I am with the twine, and I can't wrap it all the way around because the tip, the way that it's angled, the tip, it just wouldn't go. And I want the entire thing wrapped. I want the top wrapped too. So here I just take another little piece after I've cut it, and I just glue it. I think I just kind of wrapped it twice there. That way I could wrap it up over the top of the stem and then glue it down. And then that gave me a finished look. And that's what I was going for. And so here I am making a little bow. And basically, I just wanted one bow on the project. I didn't want it to be overly bowish, because is bowish a word? I don't know. But I didn't want it to have a bunch of bows, because a lot of the stems are going to almost be behind each other a little bit, I think. But I don't want them to be like, so each pumpkin has a bow. That was like too busy for me, I guess is the word I'm looking for. That was too busy. So I put it on the blessings one, which is going to be in the middle. And then I do it to each and every pumpkin. And then I start to glue them together. And I start with the middle pumpkin, and that way I can get a more cohesive look, and it's even on each side. They take the A and one of the L's, and I start to glue it behind the blessings sign, because the blessing is my centerpiece, so everything has to be centered around that. And so this is the best way to view your project and get it centered like you want it. And so I use my E6000 and the hot glue. I use the E6000 for a more permanent hold, and then I just glue a little dot of hot glue in between my E6000. That way it gives it an immediate hold, so I can place it where I want it without it breaking apart. And then once the E6000 sets up, then it'll be more permanent and you won't have to worry about it. And I am so sorry for the out of frame. I was doing this with my phone, and I don't do that no more. I just don't. It was so bad. I just apologize. Now I have figured out the camera angles that I need to do. See, look. It's so beautiful. Oh, I am so in love with these pumpkins. And at the bottom of these pumpkins where it's black, that is not my bad paint job, I promise. That is the paper. So here it is in all of its beautiful glory, fall blessings. I absolutely love this project, and the Chalk Couture just made it so much more easier to paint with that paste, and it was just absolutely turned out absolutely stunning. And like I said, it's so beautiful.